What's going on, everybody? Just trying to get set up. I realized the last time I did this that since my camera was over there, every time I was, reading something or looking into something, you could primarily only see my silhouette. So, yeah. So we're doing this again. This live stream. I'm looking into finding something real quick. Get my coffee. Still hella early. 6 o'clock in the morning. 6:09 to be exact. I'm starting 3 minutes or 6 minutes later than I did last time. Get to see me type hella slow. Might have a guest on today. Gotta see if this works. Oof. Only had 15 minutes of music. Holy cow. Holy fucking shit. Might have a guest on today. If they show up early enough. They did yesterday, so let's see if this works. See if this works without ads. Let's kind of give you a preview of what we're doing today for the podcast. As loud as it's going to go. It's a banger. I'm going to use that for my, see how this sounds up here. I'm going to use that for my preview. So, no, for all those simps who don't know what the game is when they come check this out. It'll fucking load. There we go. The fuck? Get an ad like right halfway in the middle. Hopefully YouTube pays me for this shit when I post mine. Anyways. Oh. I don't know if I'll be doing a full video this time. These videos, compressing them takes forever. I might only do to the information of the game, but we'll see how it goes. So if you're lucky, God, I haven't played this game in forever. I'm kind of floundering a little bit right now with the podcast because I haven't had a whole lot of time to play, as you know. So I'm trying to cover games that I've beat before that are, because realistically looking, I've beat more games since I started my podcast than I have in my entire life. And right now I'm just trying to figure that out, get things prepped. Hold on, I gotta pause here. Yeah. Nope, didn't pause. Okay, I'm back. Anyways, I don't know if I just have a ghost in our shop or what, but there's a lot of noise that happens. So watch that door, make sure I don't get got. Okay, let me get Audacity started, and then if you didn't know, I record with Audacity. Ding! Ding! Not an ad. I have so little energy this morning. It's so shitty out right now. It's not funny. Gonna get a silhouette again because I gotta work on my other computer. Fuck. Oh, this is impossible. I need to just get a full frontal setup. I just need to sit like this, so it's full frontal thickness, By the way, my wife keeps getting mad at me because every time I post on TikTok, I post in Thick Talk and Thick Dad Talk and all this other stuff. She's like, "You're not even thick," and I'm like, look at all this. I may be muscular, but I'm still a thick boy. So stupid. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Gamer Daddy Podcast. Whew, coming in hot again. I don't know what it is about 6 in the morning that, you know what? That's a lie, guys. I can't say that, because I'm also recording for YouTube at the same time, and I cannot say that I'm coming in hot because it's 6 in the morning, because realistically, I'm tired as hell right now. That coffee's coming down good. Going down good. I don't know. It's gonna just sound gay in general. Okay. So, as I previewed with the live stream that I'm running, or I shouldn't say live stream because I'm recording it, but with the recording I'm doing on the other side, they've already heard the music, so here we go. This is the music for the game, and after I play it, I'll get into what the game is. So if you didn't know, that is Kirby's Dreamland for the Game Boy. Kirby's Dreamland is a platform game developed by HAL Laboratories and published by Nintendo for the Game Boy. Released in 1992, it is the first game in the Kirby series and the debut of Kirby. It created many conventions that would appear in later games in the series. Kirby's Dreamland was designed by Masahiro Sakurai, who intended it to be a simple game that could be easily picked up and played by those unfamiliar with action games. For more advanced players, he offered additional optional challenges, such as an unlockable hard mode and the ability to edit Kirby's maximum HP and starting number of lives. Kirby's Dreamland was released on the Nintendo 3DS via the Virtual Console in 2011 and is also one of the games included in the compilation game Kirby's Dream Collection for the Wii, released to celebrate Kirby's 20th anniversary. I think they've re-released that one because I think I've seen it outside of the Wii. I think they did on the Switch too. I kind of want to get it because even though I own all of them, I still kind of shoot for being able to play it on a newer system because they update stuff and make things look a little more fresh, introduce color, blah blah blah. Well, I guess if you're gonna do Game Boy, they don't really introduce color that much. It just looks more black and white than it did. I guess gray or tan. It's weird. It's hard to describe because I think I know what it was. Original Game Boy, block Game Boy. Screen was like a yellowish gold color. So everything kind of had like this yellowish goldish green kind of tint to it. Then Game Boy came out with better screens when they came out with better Game Boys. And then it became this black and white, more digital, because the screen was better. More black and white. Once they started backlighting, Game Boy Color came out. I can't remember what the standard color for Game Boy games was. I think it was like, I want to say it was black and white still, but the cool part about playing Game Boy games on the Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance, if you didn't know, was you could just hit your trigger buttons and it would change the color of like all the lines and stuff. So like you could go like red, blue, yellow, green, and then normal color, like the black and white, and then I think you could also set it back to original Game Boy. But they were like vibrant versions, so like the red was like an orangish red. It basically I think they did it for Pokemon essentially because it color related, blue, red, yellow. Anyways, I didn't mention earlier, but I might have a guest on here if he shows up and I can get him in here early. I don't know if we'll actually talk about video games or not, but it's fun to have a guest on. Kirby's Dreamland is a side-scrolling action platformer like many other platforms of the 8-bit and 16-bit era of video games. Levels are played on a two-dimensional plane in which the protagonist, Kirby, can be moved left or right as well as jump. Kirby's main method of attack is to inhale enemies and objects into his mouth, after which the player can choose to swallow or spit them out as a star-shaped projectile attack. In addition to running and jumping, Kirby can fly by inflating himself with a mouthful of air and flapping his arms. Flying can be done indefinitely. However, while flying, Kirby's one method of attack is to release the air puff held in his mouth, which cancels his flight. Also, I think by him doing that, you can't just fly up to the top of the stage and skip the stage. I don't think it works that way. I think they accounted for it and they don't let you cheat because that's legitimately I've beaten so many games by doing that. Like right when I think it was Mario Land 2, 6 stars, which I covered as like my second or third episode, I think. That's how I beat most of the episodes. Is like I got the one of the, and maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was Wario Land. I can't remember, but I think either one or both had a flight option for as an item you could get. I'm pretty sure it was Wario, but for some reason Mario's sticking out in my head. Maybe it's the bubble level, but yeah, there was the ability to get like a flying item, and you could fly, you get up as high as you could and fly across. Man, video's the way to go. You can see all my weird arm movements when I do stuff. Also, just so everyone knows, this is the first game I ever tried to speedrun next to Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. That game will be coming out at some point soon. I need to compile a list after I'm done with this episode so that I keep saying that to people when they ask me what's going on with the podcast. I'm just glad 6 o'clock on Wednesday works. But I need to compile a list of everything that I've beat and played so that I can use those as an asset too, so I'm not going back and playing them unless I absolutely need to. The game consists of a total of 5 levels. Levels are made up of a series of large rooms connected by doors that lead Kirby to different areas rather than the single continuous corridor typical of platformers at the time. Some of these doors lead to hidden areas or alternative pathways through the level. The doors act as a checkpoint, returning the player to the beginning of the room should they die, rather than starting the level over. The goal of the game is to clear the level by defeating the boss at the end. If Kirby touches an enemy or a dangerous object, he loses 1 or more of his health. Kirby has 6 health. Depending on the enemy or obstacles he touched, if all of his health is lost or he falls into a bottomless pit, obviously, the player loses a life. Losing all lives results in a game over. Kirby can recover lost health by eating food found across the stage. Unlike the copy abilities of later games, Kirby's Dream Land has more traditional power-ups that offer Kirby temporary abilities, which he can pick when he picks them up. Although they are not a big part of the gameplay, these often appear in the forms of food, such as spicy curry that gives Kirby fire breath, or a mint leaf, sweet potato in the Japanese version, lets Kirby fire air... Wait. Spicy curry and gives Kirby fire breath, or mint leaf, sweet potatoes in the Japanese version. That lets Kirby fire air puffs rapidly without losing flight. At the end of each level, I'm sorry, man, I don't know what the hell's wrong with my reading. At the end of each level is a boss Kirby must fight to obtain one of the sparkling stars. Most bosses are fought by sucking up small objects or projectiles created by the boss, attacks, and spitting them back at the boss. The third boss, Kabula, is fought using an unlimited version of the mint leaf item, incorporating shoot-'em-up elements. The last level before the final boss consists of Boss Rush, where Kirby must fight all the the game's bosses, again going through a short area based on the boss's home level. There are also many mini bosses during the levels. Like many 1980s era platformers, the player can accumulate points by defeating enemies and collecting items, with an extra life granted when the player has enough points. However, because Kirby's Dream Land lacks a save function, scores are not recorded. Also, there are no save files, so the player has to start over again when the Game Boy is turned off. If the player chooses to return to the title screen after game over, or if the player resets the game, once the game has been completed, a code is offered to the player to play an optional extra game in which the difficulty is significantly increased. Completing the extra game offered a second code that lets the player adjust lives and vitality settings to play an easier or even harder game and listen to music and sound effects freely. I don't know if that's what I did. I don't know if the reason my speedrunning time was getting so thrown off. I played the game. I must have played this game like 35 or 40 times in a row because it was such a quick game to beat. You always started at the beginning. I never used any of the codes, but I wonder if that's why that's why I played it so much. And I wonder if that's why it was so hard later on, is because I was playing EX mode. Man, brings back a lot of memories about this game. Or no, I'm sorry. It brings back a lot of reminiscent of Mega Man, like the later Mega Mans, where you boss rush every boss before you fight the last boss. Which, that reminds me, I have a couple Mega Man games I do need to play, and I also need to talk about, by far, one of my favorite two Mega Man games, and that's ZX and ZX Advent. And then also the Battle Network series. I've wanted to get into them. I've played the first and second one, but it's something that I need to get into. So it'll be happening more and more frequently, just so you know. We're going to get into the plot a little bit, but I'm going to have to say goodbye to everybody on the video, because if I didn't, it's bad marketing. So I'm going to pause here on the podcast. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please check out the podcast, the rest of the podcast, if you want to find out if I have a guest or if I don't, or whatever the hell else I talk about. But you can find it it will post on YouTube after I drop it on Acast, but if you could go over to a certain podcast catcher, whichever one you listen to, except for Stitcher, because for some reason Stitcher doesn't work for me, go over there, rate and review me, and check me out. Listen to the rest of the episode. This is going to be a norm, so just sorry. Love you guys. Peace.